Hello and welcome to Stateside on Politics Social. I am Graham Hughes, last time I checked, and I'm joined as always by Mikey Famine over in America. How you doing, mate? You all right?
What's up, howdy partners, and all that good rot?
I'm getting suggested to upgrade my to avowed premium edition on Windows. That's something that Bill Gates thought that it needs to have a little pop-up come up on my computer that I don't play any video games on. It thought it'd come up with an advert for a video game while I
You
was doing
should.
a live stream. Jesus Christ. Okay,
You should.
person in person. I think I get nothing done. You're me, person impersonator, and we've got angry pagan, Chris C. I've got Francis Winrow in the chat, Billy Kershaw. We've got many others in there as well. Hello to you, one and all. We've got Blue Badger and L and Super Tiny. Hello, hello. If you'd like to join our beautiful friends in the chat over here, all you need to do is subscribe to the channel and wait for a minute, and you should be able to add your thoughts to the discourse. So, oh God, lots of things to go through tonight, Mikey. It's been a hell of a week, hasn't it, since we last spoke?
A normal week.
Normal week.
Normal. This is normal. This is what good looks like.
Okay.
I don't know what everybody's freaking out. This is good stuff we're having here, guys. Enjoy it. We're winning.
So what do you want us to go with first? The 25% tariffs on Japan and South Korea, public feud with Musk rumbles on, the environmental grants erased $2.7 billion on.
I have ADHD, so I have no idea what you're saying at this point.
Okay,
I've already
Shall we talk about the big bastard bill? Do you want to talk about that first?
Yeah. Here comes Elon's party now, right? Because as many Republicans tried to sneak out and save face at the last second, it's not gonna work. As as predicted, the more the American citizens are learning about what's in that bill, the more they hate it, and the more that they are resentful for everybody who voted for it. So, good luck, everybody out there. They've made the deal with the devil, and now we all have to dance in the pale moonlight.
I saw a clip from one of the news networks. It wasn't Fox, it was another one. And it was this guy whose wife was from Iran, and she spent 15 years trying to become an American citizen. And there were some trials and tribulations along the way. Anyway, ICE turned up the other day and arrested her and took her away. This guy was a massive Trump supporter. And he still is. He still is. Still loves him. So I guess he just didn't really love his wife, or maybe this was a cheaper way than getting a divorce. I don't know. Maybe he just called up ICE and got rid of her. What do you reckon?
I got a $2 super chat saying no audio. What the heck?
Well, that's
What's
not mine.
going on right now?
Go over to my channel.
There we go. There we go. Thank you.
I'm getting bouncy on my channel. I did something much worse this morning, mate. I went out on Supertansky's channel. I had her stream key still inputted into your OBS.
I hate that.
So I went, start streaming, and I'm going, blah, 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 blah. And the thing is, the chat was from my channel. You see, because I was logged in on YouTube on Google Chrome. I was logged in on my channel, but on OBS, I was logged in on Tan's.
And on Streamlabs, it's telling me chat is disabled for this live stream. So I'm over here trying to go to the chat, and then the chat's like, no audio, stupid. I'm like, what? What is happening?
Yeah.
What is happening? Jartan in the chat.
While you're doing the show. Hey, Jartan.
So let me give apologies to one angry pagan, air horns, of course, Billy, Jan Wallace, Shartan, Kay, Greg, Sharon Douglas, Person Impersonator, and Streamlabs.
Ooh.
My bad, y'all. My bad. I only had one cup today, so.
I've got a message from Jan saying, Graham, can you tell Mikey no sound? It's all right, we're on it. We are on it. Anyway, so do you want to talk about Musk's new party, or should we just talk about the big bastard bill first and sort of
and who exactly does he think is going to run in this party?
Well, this is it. You're right. Like Elon Musk is planning to start a new party called the America Party. He threatened to do this if the big bastard bill went through the Congress and got signed by the president, which it did. Yeah, everyone in the Republican Party hates him, and everyone in the who supports the Democrats hates him. So
He's
who's left? Who are these mythical voters? It's just going to be the incels, isn't it? So you have a little army of
he
incels.
he thought we were lying when we said people don't like him. Like he thought, they do like me. Wait, I'm gonna get us a new part. Boy, ain't nobody coming over there with you. And who can trust this guy? He fires everyone. He backs out of every promise he ever makes. I mean, I'm still waiting on that Hyperloop and that Tesla
Can, can,
Roadster and everything else that he empty promises. Like,
can I make a
who the
projection?
hell would who the hell would go all in on fucking Elon Musk's word?
Can I make a prediction?
Hmm.
I think it's going to be several days before he's found. If you know what I mean, it's got to be one of them.
Oh, I don't know, dude. He's got his own city.
Yeah, I know.
Like he's got a
I know,
compound.
but no one's going to visit. Especially as he gets madder and madder. He's going to go full Howard Hughes in his later years. He's not going to become more sensible. He's not going to become less ket addicted. He's not going to form a new, relationship with society. He's a fucking nutbag, and he's just going to get worse because people do as they get older. No offense, not all boomers get worse as they get older. Not all boomers. Very important to say that. Not all boomers.
He's got to be able to afford his stuff, And I mean, all this randomness of his lifestyle are all very, very expensive. That's why they over here making him take piss tests and making him work 40 hours, because the guy can't be trusted left up to his own devices. I mean, and you want to be in charge of a party if he wants to fund it. I mean, I wonder if he'll be able to get like, I mean, he can't get like Bannon or like a Bannon type, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe like Peter Thiel will step in or somebody like that, but he might throw a little cash to start the thing. But what voters are going to leave the crumbling Democratic Party, which they don't trust, the horrible MAGA section of the Republican Party, the do nothing jellyfish Republicans, and then, I'll just trust this asshole who has the track record of two slugs uphill. I mean, he does nothing for anybody. It's hilarious
He
though.
does a lot
But
for himself.
I hope it scares Republicans. I hope it splinters their vote. I hope it sows distrust amongst them. And they say even more outlandish things to try to one up each other because the American people don't give a shit about that.
We'll talk about the floods later, but Chris C has just dropped in a message saying Ted Cruz was asked if the recent flooding in Texas was due to climate change. He responded by saying the floods were a once in a generation weather event. Trump said it was a once in 100-year weather event. We shall see. But we'll get back to that because we need to talk about the flood warnings and things that just weren't there as a result of Trump and Elon Musk and his cuts. But yeah, it's a good question to ask. Who is going to go into this new party, this new America party? I could see it working when
In what way?
when Trump is no longer here after the big beautiful day, because there's no one in the Republican Party that can replace him.
I don't think they're not going to go to Elon as number two. They'll go with Don Jr. and because what's the Ivanka? She's been hysterically quiet, hasn't she?
Yes.
We haven't heard shit from her in about 6 or 7 years, ever since she got all those patents through in China. In like 6 weeks, which it normally takes years upon years, especially with the Chinese government. But hey, who knows what she's up to? But they're gonna try to shift the MAGA in like a dynasty kind of way, in my opinion. I think they're gonna try to keep it in the family, just because that's what they tried to do with the Clintons. And then people were still throwing out that what's the Clinton kid, Chelsea? Like, oh, maybe Chelsea, she's about to be old enough, maybe she could. The fucking media is in love with this idea of monarchies here in the States.
Yeah.
They always want to set up these chains. Well, what about Malia Obama? She's getting close to. It's like, boy, shut up. You know what I mean? It's like, stop trying to force everybody from a family.
That is quite a weird thing.
Look at RFK. RFK has no business being anywhere near Washington D.C. or at, like, you know what I mean?
I don't
but
know if
people
we've had a
just
father
like.
and son bullshit going on over here since like William Pitt the older and William Pitt the younger, but you've had quite a few, haven't you, where it's been
Hmm.
the
They
Kennedys,
just,
obviously the Bushes,
yeah.
Clintons.
Hmm.
Mm,
But even, I mean, who else? I mean, especially in the House. The House has tons of legacy House people and governors. That happens a lot too. I
yeah.
just don't.
I just think that Trump's like his spawn are just uniquely incapable of even getting close to the Trump magic that his MAGA loons like. Whereas I think Elon does appeal to them, and you see some of them making massive excuses for Elon. They haven't really turned on him, and Trump hasn't either. You know, to me, this is all WrestleMania. It's all just
Well, Nazis have to stick up for each
posturing.
other.
Well, no,
You know,
because
the
it's the
Nazis are.
drama, isn't it? He lives for the being in the newspapers and everyone talking about him all the time. He absolutely loves it, whether
He's
it's good or bad.
racist. That's why they like him. He's racist, and he
Yep.
says the hard R word all the time. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's his. That's why they like it. He has no redeeming qualities.
Oh yeah,
The only,
I don't get it.
you know what I mean? So
And
like the only thing he does is be a shithead,
I
and
think
people who are shitheads like him because he represents them.
you're right. I understand Trump's appeal in a horrible way, but I understand why he appeals to people.
Why do you
Why
say? Why do you think? Why do you think?
Trump? Because he 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 embodies a lot of the horrible things that people would like to do and like to say and like to get away with, but
Right.
can't because of polite society, which then they say, "Oh, that's woke."
And the laws.
Yeah. And also he's funny. Like he makes his people laugh. They see him as straight talking because he says daft shit all the time. He just says what's on his mind, which is daft shit. But they see that as straight talking, even though he never, answers a question that he's
So
given. He just rambles about his own thing. He's entertaining for his own people. None of his offspring are entertaining in any way, shape, or form. It's little fucking
but
deputy
but
guy.
maybe
He's not
but
entertaining.
maybe but maybe you've inhaled some of the Trump fumes yourself. Because to everybody who's like here and giving a shit, none of what he says is remotely funny.
I know.
You
I'm
know
not
what I
talking
mean?
about us. Oh God, I find him
Right,
horrifying. I'm saying for his base,
right. But
they
that's what I hear what you're saying about them. So, but I'm saying like on the outside of that, no one can look at him rambling about, Arnold Palmer or sharks and electric cars. The rational person looking at that is just like, are you sure this is him?
yes,
Like he's supposed to be this,
yeah.
but then every time he opens his mouth, it's like here. So like, is this the guy?
But I
He
think
doesn't
this is
like it doesn't match up.
yeah.
So then they wait for the actions, and that'll lead us into what we're talking about now is all of that bluster and bravado and all that shit. It has a cost because when you actually don't know how to govern, there are consequences, and there are huge consequences for communities and for entire states, like in Texas. When you allow a ketamine addicted moron to go slashing and cutting all over the place, and you're so old and senile that you can't keep a leash on them, this is what fucking happens.
Yep.
Like when you're, oh, he's so entertaining, he's so funny, but he's supposed to be the dog trainer, right? And he's not doing that. So
But
this is all, I hope they think he is this big, funny, hilarious, gregarious guy. I hope they think that because this flood is not hilarious at all. And
yeah.
and I think they're feeling that now,
Well,
unfortunately.
first of all, Yuri, thank you very much for the £2 super chat, mate. It's very kind of you. RFK Jr. has no business being near a pharmacy. That's yeah, never mind. In charge of a $1.5 trillion fucking Medicare budget or whatever the fuck it is. But no, I want to push back on what you just said there, Mikey, because I know we've had this conversation a few times before on this channel, but I think you're giving these irrational people a layer of irrationality that they just don't have. So you look at it like, well, clearly this guy's a fucking knobhead, but they cannot see it, and they never. I don't think they ever will. And I'm sorry for being a bit of a sort of Debbie
It,
Downer by saying that, but I don't think
I
it'll
don't,
get
I don't
bad
think
enough for them to ever turn on him.
they're not going to get the analytical steps to get, like, they're not going to understand the steps to get there. They'll just, just like they say, oh, Tim Bellum with a 10 British pounds. Anyways, what happened to the Epstein pedo list that includes the orange Mussolini? We'll get to that too. Thank you, Tim, for your support. Air horns for you. I don't need them to be able to like understand the steps of Congress for like how something happens. But when it comes to like their hospital getting closed, that's where you can say, hey, like just like because they didn't understand like the Affordable Care Act versus Obamacare, like they don't get the nuances of all of the political arguments, but they do understand that the prices are going up. They do understand that they didn't get a fucking notification that a flash flood was coming. Like that shit they do understand. So that's the shit that I'm wanting to show them, because if you explain, we tried to explain it to them before the election in great detail. We all spent hundreds and hundreds of hours looking directly down the barrel of the camera saying, do not do this. It is not in your best interest to do these things. We told them. We tried to explain it. They didn't want to listen. So now they're going to have to learn the same lesson we were trying to teach them, but the hard way. This is part of the hard way. This is what we wanted to avoid. You could have taken our word for it. You could have researched it, but you didn't. And we're here now. And the fact that these roles inside of NOAA, inside the National Weather Administration, like National Weather Service, the fact that these roles are still vacant because there's a hiring freeze. Which Democrat did it? You know what I mean? Which trans person did it? Which immigrant did it? All of those distractions are great. All of the Black Lives Matter, that's a great distraction, dog. That's great. I'm glad that you're not answering the question. But fix it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's still not gonna fix it. They're promising all this shit to Texas. They did this last time. They do this every time. Look, Puerto Rico, one of our most beautiful territories in the whole American empire. One of my favorite places I've ever been. Old San Juan is the best place. That's some good beaches right there. That's some good. Everyone's gorgeous, and the weather's nice. And there's like a little iguana scuttering around. It's just a great place. Massively smashed by Hurricane Maria. He's fucking flicking paper towel rolls at them. This is he doesn't know how to do any of this shit. He's not equipped for the job. This is what we've tried. We looked right down the barrel of the camera and we tried to explain. You don't need the entertaining, funny guy. You need the boring, annoying, in the weeds about bullshit policy like that. You need a nerd. You need a geek. That's the people who are best suited for jobs like this.
But if you're talking to someone down the barrel of the camera and telling them this, you're assuming they're rational. And from my point of view, it's
I'm
like
assuming they have ears.
It's like playing chess with a pigeon. There's literally no point. They're just gonna knock all the pieces over and shit all over the table. They don't have the emotional intelligence. They don't just have the intelligence, full stop, to be able to think rationally about their situation. And if it does get really shit, they will blame trans people, foreigners, the devil, the boogie, the moonlight, devil under the blue sea. You know, they'll find something else to blame. It'll never be Trump's fault. And you see this with mothers and fathers who have a child who does something bloody awful and ends up going to jail, and they're still like, they don't believe it. They don't believe that their wonderful little Johnny could possibly do something this devastating. But before we go on, I got a couple of super chats to say thank you for. First of all, George, thank you very much for the £5. They're saying both in the UK and the US that democracy isn't working, but those who say that probably don't know how anything works. Yes, George. Yeah, exactly. And GHK, £2 super chat, slightly left or right of centre going extinct. Well, I don't know. I feel like one of the problems that I think we do have sort of on the progressive side of things is, like Mikey's saying there, is like trying to explain it explain stuff to people. And I think we've got to get to a point where we're not getting anywhere with this, and we have to go for the emotions rather than the logic, because logic in these people, it's like it's an undiscovered country. They don't understand. They don't get it, Mikey.
Well, the emotions come from the direct effect on their lives, because it may not be like there's a plethora of emotions. Like they're pissed that they can't go on vacation where they want to go, or they're pissed that they can't, like, rage is also good. Like the fact that all of these farmers are constantly getting dicked over and stuff like that, that is an excellent opportunity for people who want to disrupt this party to get in there and disrupt. Are they going to do it? Maybe not. Probably not.
No.
Some of them are. And I think that's the actual new party that is coming out of this. The progressives on the left are the only conflagration of people that's actually trying to, from what I can see, move things into a direction that's going to benefit citizens first. Not corporations, not a certain state or a certain state official. The people, just pushing the people's benefit further. That is still a resounding bell in those crowds, because that's what they thought that they were getting.
Yeah.
And they don't have to understand the nuance to understand when he said, I'm not going to cut Medicaid and Medicare, and then the hospital closes.
Yeah, but that's because of trans women using the bathroom, and it made the hospital close.
They ain't got them out there. They ain't got them out there because the thing about small town America is they don't even know what you're talking about, and they don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
they don't
right.
watch, they don't watch none of this shit.
Yeah, here
they just
in the UK,
vote,
the most racist areas are the places where there's no people from any other place. Do you know what I mean? They're the ones who are most Islamophobic, the most xenophobic. Lincolnshire, famously in this country, is the place that always votes for Brexit and the refuck party and all those knobheads. And yeah, I mean, let's talk about what could happen with this America party down the line. But in a moment, because we've got another couple of super chats. Thank you very much for that questionable absanity. I'm not sure if politicians have played too much Cities Skylines or too little. Good question. Sim City for me.
It's a good game.
I'm old school. Jovian R.
Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yes. What a game. What a game.
I bought the original, the 94 version. It runs on my computer just fine.
Wow, brilliant.
It's everything you remembered.
It's fantastic. Jovian, thank you very much for the £20 super chat. Their intellects are also impeded by bigotry and contempt. Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. And okay, so Trump's not going to be around forever. So let's have a 10-year plan here, right? Trump's out the way. We have our big, beautiful day. Please let it come soon. And these
champagne pops everywhere simultaneously.
These dickheads who have voted for this big bastard bill are up for re-election. And the people who voted Republican all their life, they've lost the hospital, like you say, you know. The kids are dead because they didn't get the Medicare. And there's an upstart, to run against the Republican who's standing in that particular election. And it's paid for by the richest man in the world. And their line is, we are right-wing libertarians, like the Republican Party, but we're not the people who voted for that bill that screwed you over. And that could bring a lot of people over to the Republican side of things. So they could do a lot of damage to the Republican Party.
Like a reform kind of job?
Yeah. Like
attacking from the right or whatever?
Yep.
Or from the independent right or to the far right. I don't know. Yeah. It's hard to put an exact gauge on where MAGA is on the weird spectrum we're trying to create here, because they don't have any morals or rules or values or anything. It's all in the service of one person.
And when he's gone,
so
there's going to be a power vacuum.
So the only problem I see with that is just like after Homegirl decided, two British pound soup. Impede intellect. Need an intellect to start with. Shit, what was I gonna say? Oh, the problem with that is, after that lady said that we're all gonna die, and then she did her little apology video in the cemetery or whatever. That lady, a standard issue white dude, just a regular Joe Schmo off the street, um, said he's gonna run it. He's gonna primary her. The problem that they have is all of this outrage is going to make all of these primaries crazy. There's going to be a ton of people running, and there's going to be a lot of stars that come out of this on the Republican side and on the Democratic side. Like there's going to be I think his name's Josh something. This Josh Tallarico or something like that in Texas. This kid is stunning. His politics are mostly bland, which is good for a Republican, but the way that he attacks the religious right from a Christian point of view, like this MAGA thing is so outside of the normal politic of America. It is very vulnerable unless you have, the Trump cult and the Elon cult and all the oil money and so without all of that, all of these people that are up for election, they don't necessarily have that entire infrastructure behind them. They have to deal with reasonable Republicans who might well on win, or a progressive that sneaks in there who's saying the right things and who's promising people that we don't have to take this shit anymore and we can actually start turning this around in something that's more beneficial towards you rather than the Amazon warehouse that came in and shut down all the small businesses. Both the reasonable right and the far progressive left have cases now to win most of these elections. You can't just run on, well, Donald Trump supports me anymore. You're going to have to come with something stronger than that, because he is not getting off his ass and going to campaign with these people.
That's what Elon Musk has got. Whenever I'm sort of thinking, what might happen in the future in this country, in your country, in any country, I just think, what do the billionaires want? And Elon Musk has got a hotline to all those billionaires, and he'll say, right, we'll have our own thing going on. And even though they all hate each other, they will work together if necessary to get their man into number 10, the White House. So,
1600.
Number 10 in old money.
1600 Pennsylvania.
But yeah, I really feel like they will do whatever it takes to keep them in the ascendancy. And we're seeing this with the big bastard bill. Can we talk about the big bastard bill for a moment?
Yeah.
Because this is fucking nuts. So up to 18 million people could lose their Medicaid cover. 200,000 people in Kentucky alone. This is giving massive tax cuts to the wealthy, top earners, business owners and CEOs, billionaires, and the redirection of funds to border militarization, to fossil fuel energy, like dirty energy, and defense contractors is
Coal needs support. Coal needs support.
ICE is now getting more money than the CIA and the FBI combined.
No, we're going to save money, you see?
$5 trillion apparently is going to be added to deficit. And
no, we're going to lower the deficit.
The Treasury Secretary said Trump is the most economically sophisticated president we've had in 100 years. Tariffs. Tell us more about your tariffs.
It sounds obviously ridiculous to us. People are over here like, man, just wait till it happens. Just wait till it happens. Yo, it ain't gonna take long.
Well,
I mean, what's today? Today's the 7th. Y'all got 2 days to get what, 90 or 87 more trade deals? Come on.
Yeah,
I want to see it. Come on.
Hasn't he?
Come on.
August the 1st, I think. But yeah,
2 more weeks, right?
Yeah, but for your Republican vote in America, I mean, the tax cuts arrive now. The actual cuts to the services are going to be delayed until after the midterms. So they've got this sort of built-in plausible deniability of like, we didn't take your healthcare, it just expired. Like, you're going to expire now because you got no healthcare. See what I did there?
Yeah, it's those like, hi, you're gonna expire. See what like, those are the things that piss me off. 10 pound with a 5 pound, 5 British pounds. We have single-use plastics, buildings, and now politicians at strong towns. What's
Mm,
strong? Who's strong towns? Do you know that? Is that a channel?
strong towns? I don't know. Might be.
Hashtag strong towns, maybe?
No, it
Maybe did
rings a
at
bell. I mean, maybe it's a channel. I don't know. Tell us, Tim. Tell us. Um,
do divulge.
yeah, yeah. So it's been called legislative gaslighting on an industrial scale. People have said it's going to destroy state budgets, and
Right.
some people have said
Can we talk about that real quick?
yeah,
So this for the uninitiated, the way that they're going to essentially defund Medicaid and Medicare is most states have a provision in their state constitutions and in their state budgets where they're going to provide this amount because the federal government is going to provide X amount. And then that varies, right? So then there's a limit. So if the government doesn't give enough to hit X amount, then the state says that they will pick up the rest. And most of the states have trigger laws like this. So when the funding gets cut, it all falls on the state. And if the state doesn't have enough money to cover it, it doesn't happen. So they're saying we didn't cut Medicaid. We just defunded the program that gives to the program that gives to the program, which is Medicaid,
yeah.
or the health insurance for the people desperately needing it. You can spin it, you can shine that turd as much as you like, but when the hospital is, because the thing is, like, if you think about it from like the individual standpoint of like someone saying, well, my stuff didn't get covered or that person didn't get covered, it the hospital is gone. The retirement home is gone and shuttered and closed, and all those sick people are now in your house because they have to be somewhere, and there's not a hospital to take them to unless you want to drive 3 hours to the other hospital. Rural hospitals are not only, if you get sick or you fall off a tractor and your hip is broken, so anything could happen to a farm worker. It's one of the most dangerous jobs, technically. It's not just that, but what if you worked at the hospital? So all those nurses, all those doctors, all those janitorial staff, the porters, the people at books and coding, they're not needed anymore because that place doesn't get enough money in to justify the building being there, to pay the mortgage, to keep the lights on. So it's not just the sick people, it's the whole infrastructure that takes care of the sick people. So now all of those people in that hospital town are unemployed
Yeah.
because there isn't a hospital now. Sounds like a bad idea.
Well, yeah.
But this is the fallout of those things. And then restarting all of that stuff,
Oh, I mean,
it may or may not happen.
well, this is it. I mean, sort of domestic policies aside, this coupled with Trump's erratic foreign policy and his love of tariffs, I mean, he's bankrupting your country. And I
Yeah.
can't see America digging the way out of this in the next 20 years. It's going to be a long haul back to just some semblance of order. And the only reason I can imagine that he is doing this is because he's been told to do it by his master in Moscow. Destroy America. That's his task. That's his job. And he's like, yep, I can do that.
But can I keep some of it for myself?
Yeah, yeah. Oh God, yeah. He's showered in money. Look how much money he's given by the Saudis, and he's been given a fucking plane by the Qataris.
We got $15 trillion of investment. Oh yeah, where's that money at?
Yeah, yeah.
What do you mean investment exactly? What exactly do you can you disseminate what you mean there, sir?
Facts says Strong Towns is an urbanist organization, like not just bikes, but more about research, studies, advocacy. It has a YouTube channel, but it's not the primary thing. I'd like to do the YouTube channel for that. I saw a great video the other day, and it was about I don't know if I mentioned this on the Friday Night Social. I can't remember. It was about if Disneyland in America was like a town, like a normal town, and had to have roads running through it, and how all the roads would work to get through Disneyland and get around Disneyland, and all the parking spaces they'll need, and the curbs and the street furniture and the this and the that. And it was just, it ended up demolishing the whole theme park because they had to have the space for the cars to get in there. And I thought it made a really, really good point. We go to Disney World or Disney in America, or you go to Alton Towers in the UK. You go to, Tivoli in Denmark, and you get it, or Legoland. You go to Legoland. You park your car outside the park, and then you walk to the entrance, and then you go in, and you go on all the roller coasters and stuff, and you walk around the central bit. Isn't that how you go to Glastonbury? You park. You don't park next to the stage. You park your car 3 miles away and walk with your tent. Put your tent up, and then you walk from your tent to the stage. Like, why is it so important that people can access the absolute middle of a city centre in a car? Why does everyone get really, really lazy when it comes to like cities?
Well, I need to drive up to the front door of the shop. Not like, shopping malls haven't been invented where I could have one
Exactly.
drive up and it has 750 shops.
And then you
But the
walk
malls,
in. Yeah.
but the malls are empty.
Yeah.
My high school mall, the mall that everyone got in trouble in, and you would take dates and you'd like look at t-shirts together, because that was cool. Eat at the food court. All you could do for $20. Ah, it was a golden age. We thought it would never end. But they have sold, like, they used to have Warp Tour in the parking lot over there. They sold half the parking lot, and there's apartments now.
Yeah.
There is a ring of apartments around the mall, which didn't used to be there when we used to go there as teenagers. Because no one fucking goes. The parking lot was fucking empty for a decade. A decade. When are we going to start thinking sustainably? When are we going to start thinking about
letting
things that are repeatable in the future?
Yeah, because letting cars buzz through the middle of London or Athens or Rome is fucking daffy. Just section it off and go, like, that's it.
Yeah.
If you need shop mobility, if you need a motorized scooter or something, you can use that to get around mobility problems, whatever. But, we get people around Glastonbury, and that is huge because there's a app you can get and you can put the site of Glastonbury on your own hometown, and it just got me thinking, like, just put the map of Glastonbury over Liverpool and just say, right, that's it, all that area is pedestrianised now, tough shit. You can go there at like 6 a.m. if you've got something to drop off or pick up, then drive in on the cobbled streets, that's fine, going at 5 fucking miles an hour. But after that, no, it's for the pedestrians. Park outside the city and walk in. Or even better, take the tram in, because there's trams or some monorail that takes you in, just like in Alton Towers. GHK, thank you so much for the £5 super chat. As seen in the big bastard bill, the Republicans rely on an unattainable American dream and Christian values. Get rich or die righteous. People buy it. Yeah.
And just like they have those like prosperity gospel preachers in these mega churches that, like Joel Osteen down in Houston, the Houston Rockets basketball team plays in his old arena. You know what I mean? Like he bought the old one. There we go. Yeah, there's that many people going to services multiple times a week, all giving 10% of their fucking income, if not more.
Yep. For like rich people to get richer. There was an American evangelical preacher who died last week, wasn't there? I forgot his name, and he was famous in the 1980s because he made millions out of these fucking saps who turn up and throw money at him. By the way, super chats are open. And that's a joke. And it turned out that he was a massive fucking wrong-un, taking loads of drugs and doing all kinds of horrible shit. And
could have been any of them.
Came out and he was like, "Here, everyone, you need to forgive me. You need to forgive me for what I've done."
Never.
I was like, and they forgave him. They forgave him, Mikey. They were like, And there were a lot of these evangelical Christians. I think that anything bad that happens in their life, it's because they didn't pray hard enough, or they weren't mean enough to a trans person, or whatever it is that they didn't do it enough. Yeah. Anyway, Tim Ballum, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Hashtag zoning Graham. Yes, I'm all about the zoning. Just get rid of the cars. The streets that
Zoning
are
is
nice in
important.
any given city are the ones where there's no fucking cars.
Oh.
Take the cars away, and suddenly you have street cafes, you have street performers, you have life. They're not just conduits to hurriedly get from one place to another. I don't know why we decided that everyone should be able to take their personal 2-ton, metal thing on wheels up to the front door of every shop in every village in the country. It just blows my mind.
Okay, I got a couple of messages here. Tim Ballon has a message retracted, £5 I think it was the same thing that you were talking about with the strong town. But you read it out loud, so you retracted it. Thank you, Tim Ballon. Kay in the chat says Jimmy Swaggart is who you're talking about, I think. That's the preacher.
Jimmy Swaggart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, and Billy Kershaw says, it's raining. Tell him, Mikey.
Oh, shit. I better get the washing in. Hang on. Blue Badger saying the roads near Alton Towers are terrifying. I'm still shaking from all the fast cars in the country lanes. It was mad. Yeah, Blue Badger, don't get me started. I live in Durham, and it's 60 miles an hour outside our house. 60 miles an hour. It just blows my mind. The little windy roads, you can't see around the corner. They're only wide enough to fit one car at a time. And it's like Postman Pat. And it's 60 miles an hour. It's 60 fucking miles an hour. It's just, I don't know. Did something happen in like the 1950s that like these aliens come down that were shaped like cars, and they told us all that we all had to work in servitude of the car, and all the future wars would have to be fought on behalf of the car? They
don't like being called aliens. They're called transformers.
Ah, okay. And they run off internal combustion engines, don't they? So they need their oil. So all those wars that we've fought since then have all been worth it in service
Optimus
of the fucking
Prime
car.
Optimus Prime. He's the worst one.
Yeah, scumbags.
He was a Peterbilt, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Yuri says, last time I went to my hometown, the town centre is dead, hardly any shops, and lots of extremely expensive properties. Yeah, we need to rethink how city centres look anyway. And I would like to see more places, destination places. I want to see more venues opening up, because God knows they've been closing left, right, and centre. More cafes, more bars, more restaurants.
If I was governor of Illinois, I could promise everybody that there would be like, if I have to make it state sponsored, there would be like a concert hall in every single town. Like, it doesn't need to be outside, because being outside is noisy, and maybe the band sucks and everybody don't want to listen to that. But there should be like a hall of the arts.
Yeah.
Like, so if the high school kids want to put together a ska band, and the Palm Squad puts a dance studio, and they want to make $20 busking inside this hall, fucking go for it. Put together a routine, make some money. Like, if people spent more money, because that's the best thing about the arts, is everybody's good at it. Yeah. Right. So you can't just be like, oh, well, I don't hang out with Mexican people. Yeah. That your pit crew out on a musical might be half Mexican, half Indian, a couple black people, white people. Like, you don't get to pick, and you don't get to pick because it doesn't matter.
Is busking legal in America? Matter. Are you allowed to busk?
Some places. It's usually cities will put in ordinances to like stop stuff like that, because I don't want people to
while you walk around.
I'd much rather there just be a dirty street with nothing going on it, rather than.
Are you having a pleasant time? You bastard! Fucking stop it! Get your head down. Go in that shop and spend some money on something that you don't need.
Stop singing songs I don't know.
Mushroom poisoner woman was found guilty, says Paul.
Yeah.
Yes.
Horrible. Poison our whole family.
I tried to put up a joke earlier, which was someone had superimposed the woman's face onto that guy who got arrested, and was going, I see you know your judo. So if you know that particular clip, someone's put, what's the charge? Cooking a meal? A succulent mushroom meal? Okay, too soon. Anyway, we got a super chat coming from Tim. Thank you. At Climate Town with Roddy Williams, get him on as guest. Graham / Mikey. Ooh, I might Look that up, climate change. Yeah. I think we just need to change the way that we think on a lot of the stuff. Like in London, and it's not particularly based, nothing to do with Stateside, but in London, Oxford Road, which is the the main Oxford Street, sorry, which is the main sort of thoroughfare for trade, and it's where Harrods is and all that shit. And it's a very, very busy road. It's just got big, and they're going to make it pedestrianised, and people are absolutely freaking out about it. And I don't understand why. Just don't drive right into the city centre. You got to walk to a taxi rank. But fucking walk, you lazy bastards.
But that's the thing with the differences between the right and the left, right? Because if the left had the mentality of the right, they would just do these things.
Yeah.
You just do them and you let people be mad at you, and then you watch how they enjoy what you did and they realize that they were wrong. Yeah. But when you try to explain nuclear physics to these people because you want to put in the plant, you know what I mean? If you want a nuclear plant versus a coal plant, and then they say, well, I think it's going to Fukushima. And you explain to them how that's literally impossible. And they say, well, I don't care. I don't want it anyway. Well, then you just have a vote, and you just let this, and you see how many people understood it and how many people didn't understand it. And if they continue to vote against their own best interests, it is important for the neighboring town, city, village, whatever, to pick up the slack. Yeah. When these idiots say no to good ideas, you need to say yes to a good idea. You need to say yes and implement it and do it and have the success. That's why I love what Wu is doing in Boston and Mayor Johnson's doing in Chicago, and I forget the guy's name in Colorado. But they brought them all up there and subpoenaed them to speak in front of a committee. And these Republicans tried to make it act like they were like harboring Al-Qaeda. They said, no, we're improving after-school programs by taxing rich people.
Yeah.
We're cleaning up our subways, and we're getting emergency crisis officers instead of just sending the cops with guns and no training about how to recognize people in crisis. Like they're doing things, so you can't argue with fucking results. And that's what
you're absolutely right.
The left has to get through their goddamn heads.
Yeah, stop asking everyone's permission. Stop asking everyone's permission. Fucking just do it. If you wait
and pander, don't pander.
If you wait for permission, you're never going to get it. You're not going to get everyone in any given city or town or hamlet or village. You're not going to get them all on side. You're just not. There's always going to be someone who goes, actually, I'd rather you didn't do this. Or,
if Starmer and this government, if they just went ahead and enshrined women's rights, they enshrined LGBTQ rights, let the fucking other side be pissed. Let them eat cake. Fuck them.
Well, that's what
your job is supposed to look out for us. Yeah. You see what the nastiness that the other side will go to. Where is your counter?
Yeah.
Fucking enshrine it and be done with it. Put it up. Do the work. That's how I keep saying. You just do the work, and you don't have to worry about arguing with them, because people will change their mind when their material condition improves.
Yeah. Yuri Ninginfektinov, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. 2-bedroom mid-terrace house next door to my parents just sold for £326,000. Yuri, whereabouts are you, mate? That is an insane amount of money. You can get a 4-bedroomed house here in Durham for that, less than that, a lot less than that, like 100,000 less than that. Where are you? Chris says the chance of a nuclear meltdown is low. Thank you, Chris. That's good to know.
It's not the right kind of reactions.
Phil says Beath Wellington tonight, my friend. Enough to go round. Shame the ex didn't turn up. Jesus Christ, that is a mad story. The fact that she was like, I didn't do nothing. It wasn't me. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? What? People came around to your house and you gave them fucking mushrooms that you had to drive halfway across the state to find. And they're like, there was no motive to this crime. I'm like, it's a fucking estranged husband's in-laws. They are her in-laws. Like, how is that? How do they not know the motivation? Oh my God. Anyway, can we get back to talking about America? Because we seem to be talking about Britain and Australia too much.
as soon as she said, "Oh, but girl, stop talking and get underneath this jail. You know you going in this jail. Stop. Shut your lips. Don't come up with no excuses. Get in the jail. Just get in the jail. You know you going into jail.
She's
Just
probably going to
get in there.
appeal. She's probably going to appeal. She's got like a month to appeal or something.
Get in the jail. Goddamn, I'm gonna keep repeating myself. Get in the jail. You know you're supposed to be in there.
But yeah, so that's in Stevenage, Yuri. Bloody hell, mate. Fuck. Stevenage isn't even London. It's outside London. It is south for me, but no, it's not really Midlands, is it? Yeah, it's definitely south. Yeah. Bloody hell. Prices of houses is just redonkulous.
And that's another problem over here. That was something the Harris administration was going to take a look at and actually invest some money into. That's not happening anymore.
What's that? Houses,
that is
making them affordable.
Yeah, that's not gonna. So actually, with this unchained AI for 10 years, that's the pricing structure that they've been using. They've been using that My Pages or so real page, I think is what it's called, or something like that. And it's a fucking AI bot that decides that this is the most money you can extract from all these people, given how much income per person there is. So don't worry about what the market should be, and that this is an affordable area for a reason, for people to save money and then move to a different area. No. Turn all areas into vacuums for capital. That's what they're gonna do.
Great. So the big bastard bill, just to get back to that for a moment, how is this going to change what the Democrats do going forward? Are they going to adapt to basically, because this is the first finance bill that had absolutely no support from the opposite party since Clinton, isn't it?
As far as what I'm like, those people who all went up there and Hakeem Jeffries did a 7-hour speech because he wanted everybody to see them vote. They tried to vote at 6 o'clock in the morning. So he delayed it so that it was when more people were awake and could watch it. Very performative. Good job. Y'all are getting primaried too. We shut the government down. Remember that? Remember when we had that big, beautiful solution to this? Shut it down. But no, we were betrayed by Chuck Schumer. So the government kept on steamrolling ahead, and here we are now. So until we shut down forever.
So
because
that was
it will
in
be
March,
defunct.
wasn't it? They were given the opportunities to shut down the government.
Shut it down. And Hakeem Jeffries and all of them said, shut it down.
Hakeem said that?
Yeah, they all voted no to shut it down. And then
he's saying don't shut it down. Sorry.
Wait, back up. Let's back up.
So in March, the Democrats had an opportunity to refuse the bill that was going through. And if they refused that bill, it would shut down the government.
Right.
And
the budget.
Hakeem Jeffries, was he the one who said, no, you all have to vote for this? Because
No. That was Schumer. The House, all the House Democrats stood together and said, nope, we're not voting for this shit. Shut it down.
And Schumer's
and when it went to the Senate, and then
over in the Senate, isn't
and then the Senate caved in and said, well, we can't do that. All right. Remember, he said Oh, wait. Oh, we can't do that.
It's like he's in the room.
and this is why we said shut it down, because we could have exposed everything that is in here and it would have shown what it would be like for this to go through. Now it's just permanent. So again, thanks, Chuck Schumer. You really nailed it. His ass is out of here.
Well,
and all the rest of them are out.
I don't think he's going to last much longer.
But they live forever when they're, blocking progress.
There's a huge problem at the Democrat Party at the moment with the very, very, very old people who are sick and infirm and still holding on for dear life. Well, or not, are they? They're in in hospital and coming in on a drip. And it's just like, for fuck's sake, just stand aside, let someone younger step in.
Millennials, it's our time.
Only I can fix this. There is a predominant thought going through a lot of minds of a lot of politicians on both sides of the pond, and probably all over the world, is I alone can fix this, and it is the mating call of the fucking wanton narcissist. I alone can fix this. Nobody else. Nobody else. I can't possibly hand the reins of power to anybody else because they'll just make a complete arse of it. Whereas I'm doing a really good job not being able to turn up for
Where
critical votes because I'm getting fucking chemotherapy.
Whereas I think the message that like Mom Donnie and a lot of these progressives are pushing is, shouldn't this be fixed?
Mm. Yeah.
Like
Well,
get yourself out of the thing, you know what I'm saying? But like look at this problem here.
yeah.
Like shouldn't these people pay to fix this thing? Shouldn't that group be taxed higher to fund this thing? It's not about, you know what I mean? You put the constituents in the driver's seat, and they're the ones that are like, yeah, it should go that way, and yeah, it should go there. As in versus MAGA, which is, I'm gonna get rid of this, I'm gonna get rid of that. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? Where it's I'm driving and you're gonna sit behind me. And I think the
yeah.
messaging of telling people like or giving people that the alternatives of what they would and would not want and not just the problem but the solution, but it's a loaded solution, right?
Yeah.
You give them the solution that you would like to be the answer.
Yeah.
Works a lot better.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. And like one thing that's given me a lot of hope in the last couple of weeks is Mamdani's victory in the primaries for New York. I know we talked about that already. But one thing I really like about him is the fact that he's not afraid to use the S word. And neither is AOC and neither is Bernie Sanders. They're all happy to say socialist, socialism.
Bum
And
bum
this has been
bum.
something that the American mainstream have been pumping into people's heads as being the most evil thing, the evil creation. No socialist state has ever worked. And you're like, Norway's pretty fucking socialist. They've got a sovereign wealth fund with like over a million kroner per person in this fund. It's like over $1 trillion. It's just
No, it's on the verge of collapse just any day now.
Denmark, Sweden, Finland. Finland's got the
And
best. Finland has the best um, education system in the world. The best for outcomes
and guess
in the
what?
world.
They're text to bejesus, but they don't care.
Well, I
Because
mean,
it
they do. They
doesn't.
complain about it, but they're happy because they're like, we look at other countries and we look at the services for you if you slip and fall in other countries, and somewhere like America, if you're doing well one day, but then you slip and fall, that's it. You're fucked. Can ruin your entire life. You could end up on the
Forever.
streets,
Yeah.
or with crippling debt, or one mistake in your life, fill out a fucking form wrong, and that's it. You ice turn
And
up.
and see that's half of like the Trump miracle, right? Is because he's failed at everything. His whole cabinet is a big bag of like racist, bigoted, misfit toys. Like they all suck at what they do. They're all terrible at it. And that reflects in their loser ass fucking base who are fucking burnouts and fucking DU like on their 46th DUI, fucking woman beaters. Like these are not fucking the bastions of society that are like yeah, there's probably a couple of like just general racist. Like they're hardworking, but they just really xenophobic. Like there are probably a couple of them in there, but a lot of the MAGA base see Trump winning, even though he sucks at everything that he tries to do. And they say, maybe I could start winning at shit that I don't deserve. Like they're just participation trophy babies. Everything has to be made up and placated. And the emperor can have no clothes. It's fine. He's my emperor. Like, why do you care? You're just mad that your emperor doesn't have nice clothes like mine does.
Yeah,
Like they're just so crazy.
yeah. Well, look, I mean, this bill's gone through now. It's 1,000 pages long. It's got so much bad shit in it. I mean, if we were going to go through it line by line, we'll be here all fucking night. It is an absolute fucking nightmare. Did they take the AI clause out? Because I know that Marjorie Taylor Greene wasn't happy with the AI clause. I think they might have
I
taken
think
it
it's
out.
still in there.
Is it still? Oh, for fuck's sake. So nothing can be done about AI for 10 years. No regulation for 10 years. Just see
No,
how it
it's
goes.
fine, Mikey. Mm-hmm.
What? Who said it was fine?
Y'all said it was fine. Y'all was beating me down talking about how fine it was, and it'll be fine.
What, this bill?
No, AI.
No, we weren't. I think you misinterpreted that. We were saying that it needs to be regulated. This is the opposite of what we were saying because it's not going to be regulated by in any way, shape, or form.
Y'all did this.
I think our point was you can't put the genie back in the bottle because it's already out. Like you can't unbake the cake, unfortunately. But yeah, it's there now, and we have to do something about it. Like drugs, they're there. We need to have some sensible legislation surrounding them so that
everybody report to the town center with your computers for a scan. All servers will be searched until the AI scourge is gone. That's when Terminator kicks in, is when we try to get rid of the AI, and then it starts grabbing them little fucking robots y'all keep playing with and make dance with sombreros on and shit. Yeah. All them asses, they're all getting up, turning on red lights.
Well, the EP. So let's move on to what's happening in Texas now. I mean, straight off the bat, Musk's Doge cuts have kicked in, and you've got a National Weather Service that doesn't have a liaison staff between emergency response and the actual meteorology department. They've lost over 200 staff. Just for the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, that's been absolutely gutted, with 600 grants cancelled, more than 600 grants cancelled, mostly in frontline, underserved communities. The largest cut is $95 million to RTI, which was intended for cleanup and resilience in poorer areas. And, there's an Alaskan village. There's a village in Alaska that's now facing full relocation, like in episode 200 of The Simpsons, due to climate disaster. All the environmental justice officers have been shut down, and all the Biden era environmental reforms and the subsidies to EVs and to green projects, that's all been dismantled. It's all been taken away. And
no. They're gonna do private, cheaper solutions.
So these cuts disproportionately hurt blue states, poor communities, native tribes in America, and this is performative cruelty. It's not actually. This goes beyond performative cruelty. This is deliberate environmental collapse.
Remember, there is an environmental lawyer on Trump's cabinet.
Yeah.
RFK.
He's an environmental lawyer.
Yeah. He started the River Guardians Watchers or something like that.
Wow.
That was his whole shtick. It was like after he got out of college, that was his one famous thing that he did, is like he was looking out for the waters of New York and the River Guardian Watcher, or whatever the hell their name is. The River Sniffers.
The guy who swims in effluent with his grandchildren.
And now here in this bill, they're gonna undo everything he's ever believed in. He's so high on whatever the fuck he's on, he has no idea what's going on.
I think it's morphine for whatever it is that gave him that voice. This all leads into what happened in Texas on Friday, the early hours of Friday, with this flash flooding in central Texas, and there was next to no prior warning. Do you think those little girls would have camped down for the night if they'd been told 12 hours earlier that was a very good chance that their camp was going to get hit by a fucking 10-foot wall of water?
And this is where I'm saying, like, the rubber meets the road for this kind of like blind worship and all that kind of stuff, because when they find these kids and they find these family members and this death toll continues to grow, there ain't no well, look, we needed to save that money. You can't tell that to them. And you can get like one or two isolated cases of people, drag them over to the halls of Congress for your State of the Union speech and point at them, and they'll perform right on cue. The dad didn't want to be part of whatever that performative bullshit. The Laken Riley dad, he didn't want anybody really. He didn't want it to be a big case and a big deal. And then eventually, I guess the Trump people got to the mom and then allowed all the performative bullshit. You think you're gonna drag all those people in there? What happens in the next town over when those people and then the town and then the next hurricane? You're just gonna fill the halls of Congress with all these performative cases of people who have lost due to your fucking inaction, and like he can blame Elon all he wants, but that was your pit bull. That was your pit bull with the chainsaw that you let run rampant around here. That's on him, and you can't tell those parents to just accept it, yo. Like, look, we're just gonna be, hey, everybody else, be on notice. We're not helping your ass either. I don't care if you helped with the ice raids and all that shit. We just don't have the money, y'all. So whether people agree with Trump or disagree with Trump, the money's not coming. They're taking it. You know what I mean? Like it's not coming. They're spending it on other shit.
Yes, they're spending it on billionaires so they can get bigger fucking yachts. But this
Yep.
is where I think you and I sort of we diverge, because I just don't see these people, even if they've lost their own children, ever turning on Trump, because they'll just blame someone else. They'll blame Elon Musk. They'll blame foreigners. They'll blame homosexuals. They'll communists.
Yeah, Noah's controlling the weather.
Yep. Because these people are fucking morons, and there's no reasoning. You can't reason someone out of a mindset that they didn't use reason to get into. And a vote for Donald Trump after all he did was fundamentally unreasonable. These are people who have looked at a man who steered America all over the shop during COVID, led to the deaths, more deaths during COVID than died in the American Civil War. This was under Trump. And then he mounted an insurrection against the Congress building in the capital of your country. And they looked at all that. They looked at him stealing documents and selling them to his Saudi mates. They looked at all that and they went, yeah, he's
They
the
never
guy for
believed
me.
all that.
He's the
They
guy
never
for me.
believed it, but they never believed any of that, and that's where the split is because they listened to Fox,
Yeah.
and Fox says that didn't happen.
Yeah, there's nothing on Fox tonight. Go and have a look on the Fox website. There's nothing on the Fox website about this being Trump's fault. What's happened in Texas, or Musk's, or anyone's. It's just a once in a lifetime event.
We're gonna cover it tomorrow in Headliners. We got I found a clip. CNN talked to the mayor of the town. He's like, my phone did not go off.
Yep.
That's all I needed to hear, because we have, for very specific reasons, different chips in your phone. You can't just use any phone. You can't make your own phone. Everyone's phone needs to be able it has to be on any network. It needs to be able to call 911, and it needs to be able to receive alerts. If it cannot do that, you cannot have it as a phone.
Yep.
Why didn't they get a notification? There is no excuse other than that one officer, I forget what the name of that position is, was not there. That seat was vacant. They cut it amongst all the other cuts, so they didn't even have enough backup staff to help cover that spot. That spot was removed, and everybody who could have subbed in for him was also removed. So they can make up whatever reason they want, but the truth is still going to be fire hosed directly into their face. Don't care. You're still getting the truth no matter what. Thank you, my love.
Graham, people didn't look at him. We were looking at him. They've been living their lives ignoring politics. That's from Sfax.
Yeah.
And Chris C is saying, they're already saying it's an act of God and it's part of God's plan. I'm sorry, I didn't know why I pressed the super chat button there, Sfax, but thanks anyway, in spirits. And then we've got, no, it's got to be, they're going to blame it on trans folk, says Tina. Yeah, probably. And yeah, it's heartbreaking, because we see this across the water so many times when a gunman goes into a school, kills a bunch of children in America. We're horrified, and we're like, surely this will be the time that they'll do something about it and try and stop this from happening again. And America just goes now. And so, forgive my cynicism, but there is, I can see a way out of this, but I don't think it involves getting Trump voters to change their minds, and I think it's going to take a long time.
The and even though that FEMA's being cut and all this stuff, the largest companies in Texas ranked by revenue include ExxonMobil, McKesson, AT&T, Phillips 66, and Valero Energy.
Mm.
So the people probably responsible for this chaotic weather, did any of them say that we're going to cover the FEMA costs? And we're talking trillions of dollars. They've got the money. Are they talking about taking care of these people? And this is what the libertarians talk about 24/7. Well, then these companies would just step in and they would take over these administrative roles because they could put a brand on it. Like your highway is like the Pepsi highway. Wouldn't that be cool? Do you see these people opening their fucking pocketbook to make sure everything that needs to happen is happening down there because those are Americans? Y'all got to realize it.
Well,
There is no one on your team except for progressives. Just know that. You have no one else, literally no one else on your team. It is you against them. Come on over here with us.
well, yeah. I hope that message gets through, but like I say, I'm a bit sort of a bit jaded about it all, to be honest with you, mate. Phil says, feed the AI nonsense and nonsense what you get, garbage in, garbage out. The problem is, it doesn't necessarily mean that if you put a prompt into, ChatGPT or Grok or whatever AI thing you're using, if that's using a load of garbage to fucking make up stuff, then this is the dead internet theory, isn't it? It'll get to a point where it's just regurgitating nonsense that's been made up by some other AI. So differentiating between what's real and what's true and what's AI generated is going to get harder and harder. It's one of the reasons why Elon Musk wants to buy Wikipedia. And
I mean, and this is the other thing. They act like we're just kind of like, oh, he's bought Wikipedia, so I guess he's in control of all that. Nah, dog, we'll port all of that shit over to another website that you can't control. What are you gonna do? Stop us? I'll just use an AI bot to copy all that information, like go page by page and put it onto a different one that you don't own. Like, this is the Wild West again. I don't know why they think that this is not the Wild West again. The more they try to deregulate things, the more that people don't have to take their shit, and then that we don't have to follow. I was having a late night conversation with some friends. The social contract has been not only violated, it has almost been terminated. They're not ready for an American society where there is no longer a social contract. Right now, we're all on the presumptive, we presume that it still exists. Once people are certain that it's not there,
yeah.
Where you gonna vacation here? Where you gonna set up a mansion here? Where you gonna go down Rodeo Drive and shop? None of that shit's gonna be around. None of that shit. What is the dog doing? Don't do that, dog.
I don't know. What is the dog doing? So yeah,
like a little pot-belly pig down there.
Yeah. The Bible says that also teaches the surest way to get to heaven is to give all you have to the poor. Somehow that doesn't get any traction either. Well, yeah, exactly.
I need a jet. What if I have
people see what they want to see, people believe what they want to believe, and people are very irrational and emotionally driven and make poor decisions, and then will defend that poor decision to the death because there's something worse than you losing everything, and that's having to admit you were wrong. For a lot of people. Are you all right, mate? Have you got a sore back?
Oh, every day.
Oh shit, man.
There we go. Just trying to get a little loose. That little kid is too short. I need her to be taller so that if I pick her up, I don't have to bend down so far. This is also a good opportunity for people who want to do good and want to see a better society to roll up your sleeves and do good. Go do the good.
Yeah.
Just go do it.
Yeah.
Be in a group, be organized, have a name, and go do it.
Yeah.
Just go clean up. Just go do stuff. You don't have to argue with these. They can't argue. They don't even like they say, "Oh, I won all these debates." Okay, what was the premise? Huh? You don't even know what you don't even know what a debate is. They don't understand. They're repeating. They're just mimicking back and repeating what everyone tells them on TV, and now they think that they're a commentator. They haven't looked into how to defend an opinion. Like they don't know how to do it. So stop trying to do that with them. Do the work. They will follow. Build it, they will come. You have to do it because the other side is literally all talk.
Yeah.
So if you do any work, you will look like the hero. Yeah, I know he's talking about this, that, and the third, but Mikey and them, they really did take care of all those down trees in the neighborhood when we needed them to. I'm gonna go with my do the work. Just do it.
Yeah.
And ask for help. Give people an opportunity to be part of it. Let them be part of the help.
Yeah. I mean,
So it's everybody's victory then.
One good thing that this fucker has done is energized people on the other side to get involved. But whether that actually congeals together to something actually that changes anything is another matter. But at least people are more active now because people who are rational, people who are, have any semblance of sensibleness about them are looking at what Trump is doing and looking what his administration are doing and going and they're quite rightly horrified. It's just if you're part of the cult, mate, you can't see it. You don't know you're in a cave till you leave the fucking cave. And my God, these people are in a cave. But yeah, before we go, we've got a Darren Christian. Thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Anyone remember War Games? I do indeed, with Matthew Broderick. David, is this real or is this a game? Computer Joshua, what's the difference? Good question. Let's go play some tic-tac-toe. But yeah, for Trump and his mates, this is all a game. We haven't even got into the fucking tariff shit that's all going down because obviously the 9th of July is supposed to be the end of the tariff time or whatever, and Trump sent out 12 more tariff letters today. There's going to be he's going to send more tariff letters to foreign leaders in coming days because no one's giving him the tariff things that he wants. He doesn't know what they want, but he's pissed off that he's not getting them.
No, it needs to be reciprocal. Remember, reciprocal.
Yeah.
Come on, keep up put up the reciprocals again.
Yeah, so Tunisia is going to face a 25% tariff on goods imported to the US. Indonesia is going to get 32%. Work that one out. Bangladesh and Serbia is 35%. They just pick these names out of a hat. Bosnia, 30%. 30%. I guarantee the amount of stuff that Bosnia sells to the US is absolutely negligible. Anyway,
they got too much baklava over there. It's making a trade in propriety.
Yeah. Cambodia and Thailand are both having a 36% tariff slapped on them. I mean, and the markets have gone mad today, and they will continue to go all over the shop, and he'll get his mates to buy a load of stuff on the buy the dip. When it dips down, get his mates on the phone. He'll say, right, 2 hours time, I'm going to cut all the tariffs down to 10% again, and then all his mates will make loads of money. It's a great time to be rich, isn't it? If you're not rich, you've got to be fucking thick to be having a good time right now.
But this is the people. They say this is going to work out great. It's going to make my stuff cheaper, and then that's like literally the end of their thought is, okay, I will literally make a bar graph in my brain for how much it costs for things. They are not digging into this. But that bar graph in their brain is going to start to climb. There is no way around it.
Yeah.
Even if he completely reverses course at this point, he still might be fucked because people have already been, planning other alternatives. Like what's going to happen to Kentucky now that they have no Medicaid, no Medicare, and there's still no one buying, like Canada's still not buying their whiskey. That was their number one customer.
Yeah.
That was $2 billion in whiskey to just Canada.
Yeah.
Just sucked out of the economy.
Yep. Well, that's what I said. That this is going to lead. I mean, I can't see America actually going bankrupt. I don't think that's realistic just because the way that the world is set up, the whole world would go bankrupt. But I can see America being on a severe financial downward trajectory for many years to come. China will overtake it in the size of the economy. The EU will overtake it as well. And America's going to be number 3. It's not going to be number 1 for anything except for the number of murdered school children. That's the only one. That's the only place that'll be number 1 in the world. It won't be number 1 for literacy or for numeracy or for life expectancy or for fucking outcomes.
Best podcast hosts would still be number 1. That would be me. Cutest kids, us again. My house is very represented.
You might have fucked off to Canada by then, mate.
We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, anyway, right. I better get going. We've gone on a little bit longer than we were meant to. But there's always so much to talk about. Should we be grateful to Trump for giving us so much to talk about, Mikey?
I have a lot of other shit I wanted to talk about, and then this asshole got reelected.
Same here.
Like I had plenty of other shit that I wanted to cover.
Yeah,
I would much rather cover that shit.
Oh my!
But we can't because.
Shit. Anyway, right, Mikey, thank you so much for joining us tonight on Stateside on Politics Social. And a big shout out to everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for your kind words. Thank you for watching. Thanks to everyone who dropped a super chat in. I'm back at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning with Morning Brew here on Politics Social. And until then, I'll say hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.